Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teagle. With me, like always, is Noah Bailey. Now we have a lot of fun topics to cover today, but before we get into any of that, I think we should at least mention that Marvel legend Stan Lee passed away yesterday.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, 95 years old was
yeah,
obviously a legend in, the nerd comic book universe, obviously.
yeah.
I mean, he lived a cool life, definitely.
I've just never seen anyone just so passionate about what they created, just so willing to
Mm.
interact with fans, just like I don't we could sit here for like days just gushing about just how great this guy was. And just the fact that he was very other very few creators are willing to be so connected to the movies.
Mhm.
He's a cameo in every single Marvel movie for the past I don't know 20 plus years. He yeah, he's a legend for sure. He'll always be remembered for just
Oh,
everything he
yeah.
did for comics and just how whatever else he's done in the I think he was also a World War II veteran, so just
Mhm. Something like that.
yeah, he lived a
Yeah,
very good good life that he'll be remembered for many things. So
no,
just
yeah,
yeah.
great guy. Great guy. Had an amazing impact on the entire community. Just,
Mhm.
he will be missed
Yeah,
for real by a lot of
yeah,
people.
and just what was your favorite Stanley cameo in the Marvel movies?
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a couple really good ones because like one of the one I like the one in the Amazing Spider-Man where he's like Spider-Man fighting the lizard. He's just
uh,
casually just like, cleaning with the headphones on while they're fighting in the background.
mhm.
Or there's the one where he's isn't or in Thor Ragnarok isn't he like the barber or
That's my
something?
favorite. That is my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's such a good one.
Mhm.
Oh no, or is it Civil War where he's like a Tony Stank or
Yeah.
something?
I don't think he's had a bad cameo.
Yeah, all these cameos are gold. Like they're amazing. Like and they're not even expected too. That's the thing that's great because like you forget halfway through the movie sometimes. You're like, oh, all right, Stan Lee makes a cameo at some
Mm,
point. And it didn't matter what movie it was, because I mean, even in like Guardians of the Galaxy or something, like Stan Lee shows up at some point,
yeah.
or
I think
he's
he
at
even made a
the
cameo
casino
in
in
Teen
Black.
Titans Go movie.
He did. He did. I saw that. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not even your universe. Like, what?
But I
Like,
mean,
but you know what? You can't. This guy, I mean, he made cameos in TV shows and movies. Like, I mean, he's in an episode of the Spider-Man, like, 90s TV show,
yeah.
like, as himself. Like, it's crazy.
I
It's
think he
like,
also made a cameo in. I think he made a cameo in every major Spider-Man cartoon because he was a
oh,
random
maybe.
janitor in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon or whatever that one from like the
Yeah,
late 2010s or late
yeah,
2010 maybe just around that era. Yeah.
yeah,
So.
yeah. I don't know. That's the thing. He's had such a large part on the entire universe, obviously, and like, but not in a selfish way, just
Hmm.
trying as much as he can to share, the characters he loves with everyone else who loves them, and just
Yeah.
like, man, this is a
Yes.
role model for how to entertain the populace. A
Mm,
really great guy.
yeah. It's just gonna be sad knowing that probably Spider-Man Far From Home will be his last cameo unless they CG him
Yeah,
in, which I don't think they will.
I don't know. I've heard that they could because they have like a lot of like apparently he's done like a lot of cameos like over the years and like a
Hmm.
lot of them
They could
don't
just kind of
get
drop him in
used, but maybe,
any
but
scenario.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
feel
I
like
don't think I
like
want them to do that. I feel like either Avengers 4 or Spider-Man would be just a fitting ending for him to go out on. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man. I know that his next cameo, he's gonna get like the most standing ovation like
yeah,
ever.
and Avengers
They're probably
4 will
gonna.
probably be kind of like the Carrie Fisher will probably be dedicated to him in the credits.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
no Avengers, there's no Spider-Man, there's no nothing without Stan Lee. So I mean,
yeah, yeah. Just yeah, he definitely left an impact on their culture and just people in general. So yeah, it'd be hard to kind of move on from that topic, but let's let's move on to the Game Award nominees were officially released today.
Mm.
And one th- one thing I kind of have an issue with in regards to the Game Awards is the fact that the cutoff date for the Game Award nominees is Black Friday of that given year. Meaning that every single year there's at least one major game that just isn't in there.
Mhm.
In 2015, Final Fantasy 15, 2016, Last Guardian, 2017, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And then this year, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate isn't in there because because the cutoff is stupid early when they're supposed to be
Yeah.
representing all the games for the entire year. And you would think since this has
Well,
happened for the past 4 years, you would change it, but whatever.
yeah. Well, my thing about that is when I get kind of feel like, okay, say like it comes out in December, like the Smash Bros. This year, like how much time do they really get to play it before like the year's up? Because like unless they just change the entire date of everything, but just
Yeah,
like
have it in
you know,
January.
yeah, that would make more sense.
That's
Just like
what
like it
that's what
happens.
movies do.
That is a movie too. But
all the
with
best
games,
all the best movies come out in December.
this is true. Yeah, this is true. All like just imagine if like every Star Wars movie wasn't eligible for like
Yeah,
awards because
exactly.
oh sorry they didn't come out soon enough. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
especially around Christmas time, it makes sense too because like games. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, but they put them on the next year though, right?
They
Or
aren't
they
technically
locked them.
eligible, and I think Final Fantasy 15 was eligible for best RPG of 2016, but still, it just feels
Yeah,
weird. Like,
it's off a little bit. Yeah,
yeah,
but I
like
mean, at least it's on some list. It's not in limbo.
yeah, yeah. But something like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which came out last December, that didn't make
Hmm.
it. It's not for best RPG this year because it's just there were other RPGs that are just more in the
Yeah,
limelight. It just got
it just
buried,
didn't hit the
which is
card.
upsetting because that's a pretty good game. But whatever.
Oh man, but I mean, this is game of the year stuff. Like this is the big leagues.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, let's
So
move on
these
over to the actual uh, categories list. And I have it pulled up here.
are
Um,
all right.
let's start with the best ongoing game and then finish up with the best game of the year overall.
Got it. All right.
So
You want me to call them out, or you want to call them out?
we'll alternate.
Okay.
Like I do
Oh,
one category, you do one category, and we'll alternate from there.
okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Best ongoing game: Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Hmm.
Do you have any stake in any of these?
I mean, obviously, I mean, okay. So from what I've been, okay. So from what I've played and seen myself,
Mm.
like obviously, like I think the big ones that jump out for anyone, even if you don't play video games, Fortnite automatically jumps out at you because everyone's talking about
It's
Fortnite in
gonna win,
between. It's
unfortunately, but yeah,
like it's Fortnite's year. Like it's I feel
yeah.
like Fortnite's an obnoxious amount of categories this year, as is this case for like Red Dead 2 and other stuff. So
Hmm.
like I feel like the majority of those categories Fortnite's gonna win. Although Destiny 2 does have a decent argument, and also Overwatch, but I mean,
Overwatch is like one of my
yeah.
favorite games of all time, which is what I'm
Oh yeah.
personally gonna vote for. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, No Man's Sky is actually really impressive because like that game when it first came out was trash. Back in like 2015, 16, whenever it actually like
Mhm.
initially launched on the PlayStation, it was garbage. But then over a year later, it's back and it's better. It's like what? Your game is good now?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're making improvements, but I mean, is that really what the award is asking for?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
that
You
yeah.
gotta base it. Like if there's like most improved category, well for it. This one, maybe
Overwatch or
next time.
Fortnite's definitely gonna.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
uh, Rainbow Six Siege is also a pretty
Interesting.
impressive game. That game came out in
Oh yeah.
2015. Another game that was actually snuffed by the stupid cutoff.
Hmm.
But yeah, it came out back in 2015, and it's actually gotten more popular every year since then. So like that's at least nice to mention that. But me personally, I'm gonna vote for Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, Overwatch. Yeah, because like I have a roommate, he loves Overwatch. Dude
Yeah.
plays it a lot, and I respect it, but it's like, like Fortnite's gonna win.
Yeah.
like I hate to say it, but I mean,
You're right.
yeah. Hey, but I mean, Overwatch is still an amazing game, and people still love it. It gets all the respect,
Mm,
but. mm. Moving right along, for Best Game Direction, nominees are A Way Out,
mm.
Detroit Becoming Human, God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead 2. So, mm, there's definitely some good choices in there from what is it, the story of I know the story of God of War and Spider-Man are both really good. And the thing about Spider-Man I'll point out is that I was really expecting the story to not really be that good
Mm.
because how much was put into how important web swinging is and the mechanics and the fighting and like how good the graphics are and but the story is really good
Yeah.
actually. Like
Yeah.
it has it has good twist in it. It keeps you invested. There's multiple angles that come at you. And like part of it, yeah, is obvious because if you've ever read a comic book, you know how part of it's gonna go. But at the same time, there's a whole other half to it that you have no
Mm.
idea what's going on.
And like at the same time, you're not really playing a Spider-Man game to be surprised, so
Mhm.
that shouldn't be a knock against it. Like it's just a great
Right.
story. You could be Spider-Man, so like sure, go for it.
Yeah.
If the story's great,
Yeah.
that's just a plus.
Yeah, and it's an original idea. Like it's not been acted out a billion times. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the main villains is a much lesser known
Yeah,
character in the
I
past,
never knew who
along with
Negative
some
Man
very
was before this game came out.
that's what no one did. Like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the beauty. Like with the Rogues Gallery with someone that's like Spider-Man, there's a lot of it like, the A-list names like the Green Goblin and Venom and stuff. But there's also, kind of like the little, oh, by the way, here's Mr. Negative. And then boom, he's a big thing. He's got this whole like Black Mask-ish esque organization going on, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
See, also Red Dead 2 is like I feel like a lot of Spider-Man's hype is getting squandered by Red Dead 2 because
yeah.
and not to say that Red Dead 2 doesn't deserve it because Red Dead 2 is insanely good.
Mm,
But I feel like a lot of that is it kind of has the I don't want to say like chaser effect, but like you know how when a game comes out, another like two big games come out maybe like a month apart and it kind of steals the thunder of the first one
yeah,
almost.
yeah. Like I could easily see Red Dead 2 taking it in every category it's in, even if it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily deserve it, just because it came out more recently. If that makes any
Yeah,
sense. Like
yeah.
I haven't really seen much gameplay of Red Dead 2. I've heard it's a great game,
Yeah.
but I've heard people also praise Spider-Man and God of War.
Oh,
Uh,
oh yeah. God of
Like
War's insane.
yeah, like I'm sorry, Detroit Become Human. Like it's one of those games that like story is really all it has.
Hmm.
Like it's one of those games where like there's not much really game to it. It's mostly just dialogue trees and like quick time event cues that like if you fail
Right.
something bad will happen that's permanent. Like really story is all you got. So if it doesn't win this category, it's like that's kind of upsetting. But like sorry, you just came out in a bad year. And then a
Yeah.
way out, like I'm really it's I think it's this studio's first or second game. So like um for that game to even be nominated is also really impressive. Sorry, you're gonna be beat out by one of the other three, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
know
Oh, yeah.
it's nice that there are these small or like these kind of quote unquote smaller games are being represented on in
Yeah.
categories like this. Um,
Yeah. And it is a little, I feel a little bad that games like that with just story don't
mm,
kind of get outshined by games that have story and all this. Because I
yeah,
mean, especially when the category is just about the story, but at the same
mm,
time, it's like, what have you done for me
yeah.
lately also? So,
I also kind of wish that certain games, or really every game, had like a limit to how many categories they can be in, because as you'll
yeah.
see, Red Dead, Spider Man, and God of War are in like almost every single
Every
category.
category, yeah.
They were like,
This
you
is kind
cap
of
at
yeah.
two or three. That'd be great. But
I feel like I feel like five should be the cap because we see time and time again like games will just clean out the
yeah,
entire award show. So like I think I agree with you with the whole like capping the number of awards you can be eligible or nominated
mm,
for.
yeah. But as far as well, the three we narrowed it down to, Spider Man gets your vote.
For story, yes. Just because I think personally I was expecting less than what I got. And with that, I was very surprised and
Mm.
very intrigued by it. Plus, the game's awesome. So, I mean, but of course, I'm biased AF. So,
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, like I said, I haven't actually played God of War or Red Dead 2, so like I'm not really one to judge those. And I've at least
yeah,
seen extensive gameplay of Spider Man because I have more of an investment in a Spider Man game. So like,
right.
yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, moving on. Best narrative: Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2 Episode 1, Marvel Spider Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So a lot of the same stuff here.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, the only difference is Way Out and Life is Strange get replaced. But I mean, yeah, in terms of like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of just the same thing we already reiterated. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like all of them have amazing stories, or they wouldn't be nominated. But at the same time, it's like because the thing is, what I think a lot of people are gonna do voting wise is
Mm.
okay. If you come up to something and they all have a phenomenal story, the next
Mm.
thing, even though this category is only for the story, it comes up to okay, but what else you got? Because like
Mm.
if I all have a five in this category, something else has got to give.
Yeah.
So
Like best game direction, I feel there's at least a few more categories to it. That's why I just kind of
mhm.
threw out Detroit Become Human because like it all really is a story. Whereas God of War,
Right.
Spider Man, Red Dead 2 like actually have gameplay, other mechanics that actually engage you and bring you back more and more
Hmm.
even after you beat the game. Uh, Whereas here, I feel something like Detroit or Life is Strange, where it mostly is just story, at least has a little more chance, has a little higher chance of actually winning against something like Red Dead or Marvel Spider Man. That being said,
Hmm.
um, I haven't played Life is Strange or Detroit.
Hmm.
Uh, I've heard Life is Strange is actually pretty good, at least the first one, and I've heard at least pretty positive things about the second one. Heard God of War's story is phenomenal.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, like story based, I still feel like certain games are gonna like rack up just because I feel like more first of all more people
Yeah.
in general just play like Red Dead 2 and Spider-Man and God of War, so like
Mm-hmm.
naturally they're gonna vote
Yeah.
for them. But
Yeah, that
eh,
that's kind of why I'm just upset that something like a Red Dead 2 is in this category. Like I'm sure the story is good, but just leave some room for other games where the story is like the main focus, like Life is Strange 2. Like
mhm.
I'm actually gonna vote for Life is Strange here just so Spider-Man doesn't just sweep everything.
Yeah, come out and just absolutely like wreck. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, moving right along. Best art direction: Assassin's
I hate
Creed
this category.
Odyssey.
I hate this category so much because
What?
for every single year it's like 3 or 4 games that are just realistic and then
Mm,
one game that's more avant-garde with its art direction like
mm,
2015 Splatoon, a very creative art style. I think it actually won that year, but it was also up against Metal Gear Solid 5, Batman Arkham Knight,
yeah.
GTA 5, like all these other games that are like these are games that are just simulating real life. Like there's no creativity there with their art direction, but whatever. Go on with the sorry, go on with the
I feel like a lot of times, like art direction is kind of like thrown into the same category of just like graphics in general.
Yeah,
So
which
like,
that's not what this category should be for.
yeah,
Like,
is
I don't
there like
think
a graphic specific category?
no, at least not
Yeah,
this year. I think there was a couple years ago, but not this year.
'cause I know there are some games that like, I mean, like, who cares about the story, but like the graphics are sick. Where you're like,
Hmm.
whoa. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Sorry.
that's
Sorry.
art
Continue.
direction. That you're good. No, dude, you got to rant. You got to rant. I feel you. But no, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath
Hmm.
Traveler, Red Dead 2 again, and then Return of Obra.
Yeah.
So I will. Okay, so I will say for me, I pick Assassin's Creed Odyssey because like I've always been a fan of like the whole like Trojan War, like Troy, like the movie like Troy with Brad
Hmm.
Pitt and Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
That's a I really like that movie. That's
Yeah.
what really crazy. So like I've always been a fan of like those like, ancient Greek battles and stuff. So like when I heard Assassin's Creed was doing it, I was like, oh, this is gonna look sick, and it
Yeah.
looks
Apparently, this Assassin's Creed
crazy.
is actually pretty darn good, which is
Oh
impressive
yeah,
considering the more recent track record of Assassin's Creed games.
oh
So,
yeah. But no, but this one's definitely been on better. I know, like, it's not gonna be, and I feel like this game's not gonna be in like a category, like, it's not gonna be in like the main like game of the year best on list because like,
mm,
you've got there have definitely been other better games that have come out this year,
yeah.
but I think in terms of just like a visual standpoint, I really like this one personally.
Yeah. As far as the realistic games in this category go, I will.
Mhm.
I probably would either give it to God of War or um, Assassin's Creed. Although I would make a huge case for Octopath Traveler. This
Mhm.
game is kind of that one game I was talking about every year that's just like a very avant-garde, very unique art style. This game is an RPG that's essentially visually it looks like an SNES like 2D sprites,
Mhm.
but like they had they coined this new term called HD 2D where it still looks super dynamic. Like the backgrounds like look almost kind of realistic, but like still pixely, and it's really cool and weird. And just because of the fact that it's so much different than anything else on here outside of um, Return to Opera Den, which again the black and white kind of cell shading. It's I actually appreciate the effort put into that. So yeah, but as far as the more realistic games, I will admit Assassin's Creed is um, probably the best out of these. But I'm personally gonna vote
Yeah.
for Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, I don't know. See, for me, every time I see like even this 2D HD thing, every time I see kind of a 2D thing, I always think back to like the older like PlayStation 1 Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
And like my brother still plays them, and like every time I see them and I see like Cloud and his hair looks like Play-Doh, and I'm just like ugh, cringe. And just like I can't go back, Like I know
Mm.
obviously it's way better
Well,
now, but
well,
it's still
Claw was
so
in Final Fantasy VII, which was on the PlayStation, um, uh, which was 3D, whereas we had to go a little further back in order to compare this to.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what
I
you
was
mean.
it. Like I'm not too. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. Early PlayStation games did look kind of they were great for their time, but haven't
Oh yeah,
aged
no, I
super
mean
well.
for like the '90s, like that's great. But
Mm,
like you look at 2018, you're like,
yeah,
what am I looking at? Like
yeah.
wow.
But just in a sea of every game trying to look super realistic, just super gritty. Like
Right.
I appreciate when developers do try to branch out and make stuff. Like the same developer that made
Mm,
Final Fantasy look more realistic also made this. I appreciate that.
fair enough.
Or is it my turn? Yeah.
Yeah.
Best score slash music presented by Spotify. Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Red Dead Redemption 2, because of course. Uh,
And think,
I've heard Ni no Kuni actually has really good music.
really,
Yeah. Also, Octopath Traveler again
that's
also has some pretty good music.
really good music. Yeah, usually like people that like I don't know, like usually those kind of get like like you said like people behind Final Fantasy are behind that game too. So like
Mm,
usually they have like because Final Fantasy is like known for having really good music.
yeah,
So like I could see how that could easily work. And I don't know the only music that I've heard like the majority of the soundtrack for is for Spider-Man for obviously because I own it.
played
But
it.
I
Yep.
mean yeah, like and I mean it's good. Like it's not like amazing. Like the free roam music is good because it actually feels like you're swinging from the
Mhm.
music, but like it's
Yeah,
not the music of the year,
yeah.
even
This
for
isn't
me.
just best soundtrack; it's best, like, I guess, music direction would be a better way to kind of present how they're categorizing these, because God of War and Red Dead, they don't really have like amazing soundtrack. Like, and also Spider Man, they don't really have that good soundtracks, but just the way like ambient sounds are crafted, just the way certain things sound, like they're just done really well. Whereas something like Nino Kuni and Octopath actually have like scores that are actually that are like more of a focal point of the game. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Fair enough.
I don't even really know why Red Dead is in this category. Like, sure, the
Because
because it's Red Dead, because it's Rockstar.
yeah, basically.
If
I
it
mean,
wins this
honestly,
category, if it wins this or Art Direction, I'm gonna be very upset. I
I
feel
feel
like
like it's
Octopath
in like
deserves to win at least one of those categories.
yeah. I mean, it should, but I don't know why it's here. But like,
Yeah,
what can you do? You know.
yeah.
All right, moving right along. Best audio design: Black Ops 4, Horizon 4, God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead 2. Surprise,
Wait,
surprise.
so best audio design and soundtrack are two different categories?
I
So why is Red
apparently.
Dead? Why is Red Dead in the?
Oh, Red Dead's I mean, Red Dead's on both of them. So I mean,
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
Pick one.
I don't know. Like like the I don't know. I don't get. I mean, I don't personally know the difference between the two categories myself. But I mean,
I mean, kind of what I described, like the ambient noises and just the sounds certain things make. That's more. I guess that's more so
okay,
this category. So I'm gonna give it a Forza Horizon 4.
okay.
Like that's actually a really really well crafted game. Like I'm not a big fan of the Forza series, but the Horizon series
Hmm.
actually like kind of looks like it has some effort put into it, and like they actually try to like evolve the series with every single entry, and like how the cars sound, um
Yeah.
how just things interact with the environment changing, with the seasons changing. Like I think Forza Horizon 4 should personally take this one.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the only categories so far that we've seen. I don't think we've seen any category up to
Nope.
this point. So like, I feel like that'd definitely be a good bet. And like I think like how the cars sound is a big part of that too. Because like different car, obviously in real life, you can tell what kind of car it is based on
Yeah.
what it sounds like. So I think like especially if you really know what like exotic cars sound like, you could be like, oh, this one definitely wins. Like
Yeah.
you know how they got the town sound of the engine turning up just right and stuff like
Mm.
that. So I mean, yeah, that'd be something amazing. Like, I don't have that knowledge, but if I did, I'd probably really appreciate it.
Mm. Yeah, Call of Duty, Why Are You Here, Spider Man, God of War, like where I don't really know how
Because,
exactly they're judging these.
mm, no idea, but I'm telling you, I feel like when they don't know what to put, they just put the best games and just throw them in
Yeah.
categories to save
Hey,
space.
these
But
are nominated for Game of the Year, therefore they're good enough to be in every other category, right? Like, I guess in theory, but like, come on.
theoretically, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah. Next up, Best Performance. Um, Admittedly, I haven't actually played any of these games outside of Spider-Man, but we'll get to that. Brian Deckard as Connor, Detroit Become Human. Christopher Judge as Kratos, God of War. M- Melissanthi Mahut, sure, as Cassandra, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead 2. Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Spider Man.
Um, I know we don't usually. I know we don't usually like. I know we're like, oh my gosh, Red Dead 2 or 2. But this one I might give it to Red Dead 2 because I'll
Honestly,
admit, like,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I was like, 'cause like, I mean, it's real. I mean, they get the voice. The voice is really good, and like
Mm,
it goes real. And like, I think just the voice acting in general for that whole game is spot on. Everyone
yeah.
sounds really good. Everything sounds like like it really makes you like it really makes you be like this is legit. Like, where the
Mm,
time period works really well,
yeah.
just because
Like,
of like how people talk, what they reckoned, and
like
so.
I said, I haven't actually like played any of these games outside a little bit of Spider-Man, but like I have seen gameplay of Red
Mhm.
Dead. I haven't seen much of from Assassin's Creed, but I know how Kratos sounds, and he always, this guy always puts in some work for Kratos, and
Yeah.
really, I would be happy with any of these winning. So, well, yeah,
Hmm.
we'll give it to Arthur Morgan. Why not?
All right. Oh my God. Okay. Games for Impact. 1111 Memories Retold, Celeste, Florence, Life is Strange 2, and The Missing J.J. Maxfield and the Island of Memories.
It,
Now,
this
I have
category is
no idea.
always really weird. It's it's just
Impact. I
kind of the
don't know.
category where it's essentially kind of a similar feel for like movies that are clearly Oscar bait, like games or like, well, in that scenario, movies that have like a checklist of things that they need to meet in order to be nominated because that's what the Academy likes. This is kind of
Hmm.
feels like a similar checklist for games, but doesn't mean these games are bad. It's just a really weird category to judge. But
Yeah.
because I've never
It's,
heard of
it's,
any of these outside of Life is Strange and Celeste.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, what is. But I mean, I don't know. I guess. Yeah. I mean, like this is, I feel like this is one of the categories that like I would just kind of like skip over because I'm
Yeah,
not really sure what I'm
Florence.
going
I like
for.
that poster. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, it looks great, but
You will stop being so slow. I can move on. Okay, hang on. Best indie game: Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. Now, these all of these games are fantastic. Like Celeste, one of the best platformers this year. Dead Cells, one of the best roguelike. Into the Breach, uh, blanking on exactly what kind of game that is. The Messenger, like a Metroidvania
yeah,
2D platform beat 'em up style game. Like it, all of these are just fantastic indie games, and like I'd be fine if any of these win. Personally, I would either give it to Celeste or The Messenger. I've actually played a little bit of The Messenger. I've seen a lot of gameplay of Celeste. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I haven't had that. I haven't played any of these, but I mean,
I'm gonna give it to
I'll
The
put,
Messenger. I really like that game. It's like, have you
hmm.
played any of the 2D Ninja Gaiden games?
Yes,
Yeah, it's basically like
yeah,
a spiritual successor to Ninja Gaiden.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, I could work with that. All right, let's see. Is it me now? We on? Yeah. Okay. Best mobile game: Donut County, Florence, Fortnite, PUBG, and Reigns Game of Thrones.
Donut Country is
So,
really fun.
really?
Yeah.
I'll admit I've never played that.
um, if it's the game I'm thinking of, essentially you like it might be a different game I'm thinking of, but essentially you like kind of you play as this like hole in the ground, and your job is just like suck up stuff all around the town, and like you can complete challenges and stuff, and like it's weird yet cool. Just have a cool time waster. Like it's a pretty fun game actually. So still haven't heard of Florence.
Interesting.
Fortnite's gonna win, so we'll just as well skip this category
Yeah,
entirely. PUBG, why are you even still
yeah.
here? Why Fortnite is here? Why are
PUBG.
you?
That's what I'm saying. Like PUBG, you're basically just sad for. It's like, your little brother comes along.
Hey,
You're
they
like,
have Suicide Squad skins now.
"Ew." I mean, so
Yeah.
like
Why
Fortnite
would
has
you add skins of the worst Joker and Harley Quinn from a movie that happened 2 years ago and didn't even perform well? Like, what are you doing? Whatever. And then Game of
maybe
Thrones,
there.
and know nothing
Yeah,
about that one.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, Fortnite's probably gonna win. Does it deserve to win?
I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
objectively like the biggest game right now, so maybe it does just
Yeah,
by sheer mass. But
but it's not big because of how it was
yeah,
mobily. That's my thing. Because like it was already a thing,
then it
huge
came to mobile
before.
and got even bigger, basically. Yeah,
Exactly, or kind of just stole the category in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. But even
So
if even if what I described isn't actually County, I'm still gonna give it a Donut County just because that name is funny.
get points for creativity.
In
Absolutely.
my book. Now, best VR AR game: Astrobot Rescue Mission, Beat Saber, Firewall Zero Hour, Moss, and Tetris Effect. Another category with just a lot of really good games. Like
Hmm.
Astrobot, um, it really like uses really all of these games like use VR to like their just like the best possible way you could use it. Like in Astrobot, you're controlling this little robot that's like going around this world that's these like platforming levels that are like all around you, and like he's collecting his other little robot buddies and stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Beat Saber, you basically have a lightsaber just like
Yeah.
chopping stuff in a rhythm game style. Like that's always fun. First person shooter. I think
Both good
Moss is
there.
like an action adventure style game where you're playing as that little mouse dude. And then Tetris Effect, it's to me it's Tetris, but like um I'm not entirely sure how it's enhanced by VR, but just as far as just playing a modern Tetris like um with like it actually has like music that kind of plays in the background. The pieces themselves, like when they fall, they like have they like come they're you can just like make your own like beats out of the different blocks falling and stuff, and it it's also it's pretty good too. I'd probably give it a Beat Saber just because you're basically a freaking Jedi. So
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel, and those are the kind of games that always end up being like addictive too. Anyway, you're just like, I
yeah,
can't stop. Why would I stop? Like I have a freaking
yeah,
lightsaber. What else do I need to do with life?
yeah. Plus, I feel
But
that's the only game in this category that can like really only be played in VR. Like Astrobot. Like you you could feasibly make that game work in 2D. You're a shooter, obviously. Moss, obviously. Tetris. Like all these games are, I'm sure they're enhanced by VR, but like Beat Saber, like you kind of have to be VR in order for that game to work. So
right.
yeah,
Hmm. Moving right along. Best action game. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells, Destiny 2, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11,
Mega
which
Man,
gets my vote
Mega
personally.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that was coming too, but I was like, I'm definitely voting for Mega Man 11.
Like, look, Call of
Yeah.
Duty, you come out every year, you're not special. Far Cry 5, like, I'm sure you're a good game. But I don't
Mega
know,
Man
it's just
11. I
kind of
mean,
another Ubisoft game. Like, Ubisoft just kind of
mm,
has their own genre of Ubisoft game, like Assassin's Creed, yeah, pretty much every Tom Clancy game, Watch Dogs, etc. Like all these are just kind of the
mm,
same game at this point, especially within like and even within Far Cry, like this is just kind of there. Destiny 2, you're not better than Call of Duty, so go away. Dead Cells is really the only competition here, but Mega Man finally making a comeback after
it's
however many
it's
years since 10, like it deserves. I think this is the only category where Mega Man 11 actually shows up, so I really want
Really?
it to win. I really want it to win.
Oh my gosh, no, Mega Man 11 needs to be here because like,
Yeah.
plus it's really good. Like from what I've seen and what I like, that is really good. Like,
Mhm.
and the thing is, it's still got the classic Mega Man feel, but
Yeah.
of course it's it's obviously been updated, which is
Mhm.
really cool. But you still
And
have to
like
fight, Black
it's
Man.
hard. The new powers are creative. The new bosses are creative. Like essentially, they take the old Mega Man formula and just make it better.
That's what I'm saying. They just amp up what isn't broken, then just add, put a nice polish on it, add a few
Mhm.
new things, and throw it back out there, and everyone loves it.
Yeah, so it needs to win something. So,
Yeah.
best action adventure game: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Don't even
Mm.
bother. Don't even know why I bothered reading that last one. Okay. Like no, like I'm not. No shade on Tomb Raider, but like
I
you're not gonna
mean,
win. You came out of the you came out a week after Spider Man.
yeah, that was
What is
not
wrong with
why. I
you?
mean, I, in its defense, the trailers and demos that I played were kind of cool,
No, I'm sure it's a fun
but
game. Sure, it's
but it's
good.
how
But you came out the
yeah,
same year as Spider Man God of War and Red Dead 2. Like,
that was not the wisest of choices, but man, action, that's
if it come out
action
in
adventure.
August, it would have been fine because it would have come out
Yeah,
before Spider Man. But no.
yeah, or just any other month, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It was
what do you
November.
do?
I mean, it would have been better.
Yeah, I mean, you could have been the next game. Maybe that would have caught some of the hype from the other game. I mean, no
Mm-hmm.
one would be playing that over Red Dead 2, but I mean,
Yeah, like
you know,
late November. You like come out on Black
yeah,
Friday or the weekend before. Like
right?
that's
That would
enough
be
time, I
sick.
think.
Yeah, definitely enough time. But I mean, yeah, but I mean, honestly, for me, it's well, I'm
For me, I
thinking,
would
I'm really,
personally say God of War.
that's what I was thinking. I'm really thinking God of War, but also it's like, well, you gotta think it's action and adventure, and like
Mm-hmm.
God of War definitely covers that. But I think Red Dead 2 has a lot of adventure, like because you can
Yeah.
explore that game has so much to explore. I mean, it is ridiculously huge.
True. True.
Like so much to do, and you can just, I mean, there's so many things you can do. I mean, you can skin an alligator if you feel like it. You can just, I mean, you can do whatever you want. But I mean, then again, God of War, I don't know. That's kind of God of War's thing. It's really good combat and
Mm-hmm.
then like also just adventure. So
Yeah.
like I think yeah, God of War probably because Red Dead 2 will win other Spider-Man will win
It's
other stuff. So
yeah.
give it credit where it's due.
I just have a
All right.
feeling that like
Hmm.
when the actual like Game Awards event happens, only like because God of War 3, Spider Man, and Red Dead are going to be in like most of these categories, and I have a feeling one of these games is going to be overshadowed. Like
Yeah.
one or two of these games is going to be in everything, and then the other one is just going to kind of be there, and
Hmm.
that's going to be disappointing.
And I feel
That's
like
how Horizon Zero Dawn was last year because
mm,
Zelda Breath of the Wild existed.
right.
Horizon Zero Dawn just kind of got shafted, which I feel
Right.
bad, but
I
like,
would say
sorry.
like it's like you're great, but I mean
Come on.
come on. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be either God of War or Spider-Man. I'm not totally sure. Like the more as it goes on, I'm starting to feel like it might be Spider-Man, despite how much
Yeah.
hype was going into Spider-Man this year. But like I don't. As soon as Red Dead 2 came out, everything with Spider-Man like kind of shut
Yeah,
down.
it's
And I'm kind of like,
and
oof.
at the same time, like God of War came out early, so early in the
Mhm.
year, and people are still thinking about it.
Right.
It
And
made
that's
such
gonna
an
kind of
impact
like,
that like even like it came out so early, people are still thinking about it, and maybe even after playing Red Dead 2, they might still be like, I like this game. Not even thinking about Spider Man, but oh God of War, I still just have such an attachment to that game
mm-hmm.
I played so long ago. Like I have a feeling Spider Man might get the
Because it's
shaft
like
from a couple of this, unfortunately.
that's what I'm thinking, unfortunately. And I'm like, I love Spider-Man too, also, but like
Yeah.
as soon as Red Dead 2 came out, like all the hype for Spider-Man just kind of dissipated, and like Red Dead 2 just got like so much. And then of course God of War was kind of by itself it was kind of just kind of got to thrive. It didn't have as much competition, but
Hmm.
I feel like that out better would be much more. It'd be easier for people to determine which they like better. But I think Spider-Man can get the short end of the stick for a lot of these like the big three this year.
Uh, okay. So I think it's your turn.
Yeah, we are on
Role
best
playing.
role
Yep.
playing game. Let's see, Dragon Quest 11, Monster Hunter, no, what was that? Ninoi Kunai too?
Nino Cooney.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Nino Kuni, I don't know why. Yeah, I cannot talk.
Yeah, it's fine.
Octopath Traveler, and then Pillars of Eternity too.
Which I heard is actually pretty good. Um, I'm personally feel like Monster Hunter deserves this. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I
Dragon
was
Quest
about.
11 finally coming to the states is fun. Nino Cooney
This is
2,
true.
like I've heard you're a pretty good game. You're better than the first one, but like you just kind of
So
came out in a bad year. Octopath Traveler,
yeah,
like again, I really appreciate that game. It just Monster Hunter. There's just something special about it. Like it's the first time it's come to consoles in forever. It it's huge open world. Like you can finally do things in Monster Hunter that people have
yeah.
been wanting just forever.
And visually, it is absolutely
Yeah,
stunning. Like
yeah.
my
I'm
roommate
really
has
surprised
been,
this game didn't get best art direction.
right? Because like especially with having to design all these monsters in it, like I
Yeah.
mean, there's some really abstract looking things in there, and like like to be able to come up with all that and have it all look really good and have like and like the light, like I know this sounds weird, but like I don't know something about like how during like as the day changes in time, like the sun and everything, like it looks
Hmm.
so good. But man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just and the ability just how much you can customize everything and just make it your own too. I think that's gonna be for me. That's why Monster Hunter gets the
Yeah.
nod here.
Yep. Again, like this is a pretty good year for RPGs, but
Mhm.
just sorry, just got overshadowed.
Yeah, I mean,
And Monster Hunter actually came out, I think last, I think it came out in January. So like that game has been in people's minds for forever. So like the fact
I
that
mean, it's just that good though.
the
Like,
fact that like all these other great games also came out, yeah, Monster Hunter still reigns supreme. That's kind of a good game right there.
oh yeah, I mean that game is, whew,
Yep.
so it looks so cool though.
Best fighting game, which will not include Smash Bros. For some arbitrary reason. Blaze Blue Cross, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Soul Calibur 6, and Street Fighter 5 Arcade. If you give it a Smash, I would, but Cross Tag Battle is really good. I heard Soul
Hmm.
Calibur 6 is pretty good. I heard Street Fighter 5 Arcade actually, revitalized this dead game that no one liked
Yeah,
at first. So it actually, pressed for doing that. Come on. Dragon Ball Fighters.
I'll give him, he's gonna come around. No, like I mean, Dragon Ball Fight, like it's so. I'll admit, when I first saw it, I wasn't sold
Mhm.
because I was so used to Dragon Ball Z games, like the Tenkaichi games back on like PlayStation 2. Like
Mhm.
that was the fighting style that I just loved because it was so Dragon Ball Z. It was
Yeah.
so great. And I was kind of like, oh, they're kind of going. They felt like it was going backwards with Fighter Z, but or Fighter. I don't. Is it Fighter Z or Fighters? Like I don't even know.
It's
But
technically fighters, but I think that's stupid.
yeah,
Especially since the Z is capitalized and Dragon Ball Z,
yeah.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z just makes sense, but
It does make sense. It does make sense. I don't know. You know what we're talking about,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean that one just looked. I mean, and like I don't know. Like I heard mixed reviews on Soul Calibur 6 personally.
Mm.
Because some people, yeah, they were good, but like one of my coworkers who I talked about games about all the time, he was kind of just like kind of doesn't feel as. I mean, kind of because Soul Calibur lately it just hasn't been as good as in the past,
Yeah,
and
like
like,
it peaked with Soul
but
Calibur 2 and you don't want to peak
yeah,
back in what to what 2002,
dude,
2003. Like that was a
yeah.
while ago.
Okay, like, you don't want to 15 years back, but I mean, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think Fighter Z definitely takes
yeah,
the cake here.
and yeah. Arc System Works. They know how to make it. They know how to make a good fighting game. Like I
Oh
know there
yeah.
weren't that many fighting games that came out this year, but the fact that they had two, Blaze Blue and Dragon Ball Fighter Z, like both in this category, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And like I wouldn't mind if Arc System Works tried with like a Naruto game or like a Bleach
Oh
or like
yeah.
any other like My Hero Academia or like there's so
Ooh.
many other great anime or just games, just media in general. I would love to actually have them make a fighting game for. I
Mm-hmm.
just let them do whatever. I'll be fine with it.
All right. Best family game.
I hate this
Mario
category
Tennis
too.
Ace.
I hate this category too
You hate
because
this, why do you hate this category?
because it essentially this is the category where they're like, okay, so we know Nintendo is a big part of the industry,
This
but
is
their
true.
games don't meet the criteria to really go into most other categories. So we'll just kind of make a category for them. Every
I
single
mean,
year, it's mostly Nintendo games, and it's just
this
kind of
is
annoying.
okay, but like to be fair, Nintendo does make family games.
They
Like,
do, but like last year with Mario Odyssey and Zelda, that was really the only time they were in the spotlight. Every other
yeah,
year, even though they do make really good games, they just don't, like I said, quote unquote, fit into any other category. And last year, they started making family game. They just also it kind of, I don't know, calling it best family game just kind of, I don't know,
it's a
it
little bit.
feels like it's kind of marginalizing these otherwise pretty good games. If they had called it something different that didn't apply these are only for family, I don't know. Just I guess it's just kind of the wording of that that's makes me
Yeah,
upset. But
yeah. And as a
sorry,
Nintendo guy, I can see that, but it's
carry
okay.
on.
It's okay. Yeah. But anyway, Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink, Battle for Atlas. I don't know
Mm.
why it says Atlantis, and Super Mario Party.
Either Overcooked 2 or Mario Party.
That's what I was saying. Because like when I think family game, like the first game I think of is Mario
Mario
Party in
Party.
general.
And this Mario
But
Party is
like,
actually good.
all
you
right,
haven't
it's
you haven't
not
said that
boring
for the
until
better
you
part of
get
10
like
years.
that. Oh my god, dude. Like my brother's that person who will play Mario Party by himself to like unlock stuff, and I'm like, dude, like no, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
Like,
if it's fun, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like if it's great on its own, that's one thing. But
mhm.
like it in years past, like Mario Party like 8 and 9, I'm just like,
Yeah, 10 was also just garbage. And I've never really
yeah.
understood Mario Party on handhelds. Like the DS and 3DS had some, and like they just lost the charm.
It's a,
But now that the
it's
Switch
a
is a
super
console and
real
a
purpose.
handheld, it just works so well.
Right. That's true. And honestly, one of the reasons I think the Switch actually did that. I know it sounds like a stretch, but I feel like Mario Party was one of the games they had in mind, definitely with that concept.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like
Like,
same thing with the Wiimote. Like those
yeah.
everything you can do with the Joy Cons, like HG Rumble, like just all the stuff you can do with
Oh,
those. Like yeah, they they had Mario Party in mind making that.
it's like other games, sure, but like you know what this is about.
Yeah, and then Starlink, sorry not Starlink, Overcooked 2. It's another game that's really good with groups of people. It's really hectic. It's it improves on the first one almost every single way. Um, and it's just it's a really good stream. It's a really good game to like watch a group of like four guys just stream, and just even
Mhm.
if they were friends before, like it's one of those games that also kind of like Mario Party where like it could very easily like break friendships. Like it's gonna
Oh,
get really stressful at times.
like really fast. You're like, do not do this, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I
Like
can't tell you how many times I've done that in
I
Mario
don't even know if
Party.
those games like should really be in this family category because they destroy family more than actually bring them together.
It's perfect. I mean, so does games like Monopoly and Uno, but I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Like yeah, I think I'm gonna give this to Mario Party.
yeah, I mean, same. Just because it's iconic for this category
Yeah.
and its short history, but it is what it is.
Hmm.
All right, you're on this one.
Okay. Best strategy game. Computer will. Okay. Banner Saga 3, Battletech, Frostpunk, Into the Breach, Valkyria Chronicles 4. So I guess Into the Breach is like a strategy game. Good to know. Okay. Um, like I had heard about Into the Breach, but I never actually like seen gameplay of it.
Mhm.
BattleTech seems like a lot of fun. That's one of those games that like I'm pretty sure it was a board game, but they brought it into a game and it still works exactly the same way and it's fun. Play as robots, that's always good. Banner
Yeah,
Saga
I
3,
mean,
as I heard, is like a good culmination of the trilogy. Never heard of Frostpunk. Valkyrie
mhm.
Chronicles 4, I heard is also really good. Um, yeah, really any of these winning I'd be fine with. But
Yeah. I mean, strategy games aren't as in demand as others, but I mean, they're still,
still
I
fun.
don't know. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, personally, I don't have much knowledge of any of these. I'm sorry to say, but my opinion cannot be weighed in much here.
You definitely have to be like, you definitely have to have a certain amount of patience. You have to have a certain kind of interest to like games like this. So I'm gonna give it a BattleTech because
Yeah.
robots.
Because robots. Why not? Uh, all right, moving right along. Best sports game: FIFA 19,
Sports
Forza
and
Horizon
racing.
4. Ooh, indeed. Oh yeah, sports and racing. My bad. I don't know why I didn't. Hmm. Yeah, Mario Tennis Aces, 2K19 NBA because basketball. No,
Yeah.
I'm just playing. 2K is awesome. But Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. All right, let me go ahead. I'm gonna personally disqualify FIFA, not because FIFA is a good game, but EA
Yep.
and I don't know, for all the times EA has made poor games, and including sports games, at least recently, because like games like Madden and FIFA kind of don't level up to as good as they could be.
Yeah.
But
And plus,
I
apparently,
digress.
Pro Evolution Soccer is better anyway. So,
Yeah, from what I've heard, yeah. So, but I mean,
yeah.
personally, I like Rocket League if I'm playing soccer.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Um,
details. But yeah, for this category, I mean, I like Mario. I feel like Mario Tennis, but at the same time, it's like
I don't.
I kind of like Forza Horizon 4.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
Mario Tennis is good. It's not as good as it could have been. Is
Yeah,
there are definitely some things that could have made it better. Like the online wasn't great. There was kind of a lack of content at launch. It's gotten better over time. The story mode it actually had a story mode, but it was just kind of there, which is more to
yeah,
say than most other sports games. But still, like
oh, yeah.
this is like the main thing they were pushing. It was just kind of underwhelming. But like the base game itself, as far as being a tennis game, pretty good. So I'd be fine with really I'd be fine with any of these outside of FIFA winning. But probably 2K. 2K19 usually wins.
Yeah, and 2K and like no, and 2K basketball games are done really well, I will say, because they actually do have like really good like the mechanics, especially compared to its competitor, like again NBA Live, which is an EA property, which is atrocious,
Yeah. Has it gotten
especially
any better?
basketball.
Because like the one at the launch of the new generation was just garbage. Have they
Oh no,
gotten any better?
from what I've heard, no, they've
Okay.
actually gotten worse. So like, because like you'll be going up, and then some like 5'11" dude will block like a 7 footer, just like, and I'm like,
Okay. Why not?
how does this work? Is there some staircase we
Hmm.
didn't like, invisible staircase or something? Like, there's no way Isaiah Thomas should be coming up on anybody.
uh,
But
yeah.
I digress. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I would say it's probably gonna be Mario Tennis or 2K, just because. Probably 2K, just because sporting everyone plays 2K in terms of
Yeah.
sports world. So
Yeah. And racing,
yeah.
like, I kind of appreciate them at least giving it another chance for Forza to really, make a splash because there aren't enough racing games throughout the year for there to be its own racing game category. So
Right.
having it being here kind of arbitrarily is, still a nice representation sake, but like it's not going to beat 2K or Mario. So
Dude,
I'm going
I
to go for
miss racing.
Mario Tennis personally.
Yeah,
Just
I miss racing games, dude.
yeah,
Like Need for Speed and like Midnight Club, like all those
we
games.
know what
Ah,
happened to both of those franchises though.
this is true.
EA
This is
happened to those.
this, but still, like, ah, like back in
Yeah.
the they were. It was better. Racing games used to be way more
Mhm.
fun. And like I feel like now with how big like online play has gotten and like
Yeah.
all this stuff, like imagine like how big racing games get now. It would be
Yeah, like we have
ridiculous.
Forza, we have the Gran Turismo, we have Mario Kart, and
Yeah.
we have like a couple of things here and there, like the Crew 2. Um, uh, like we have a new Need for Speed game, like sometimes that they haven't been good since 2013. So, eh. Yeah, there
Yeah,
needs to be
man.
more people making games like that.
Uh, I don't know. Hopefully, there's a racing game renaissance, so to speak. But I mean,
Mhm.
until then,
Yeah.
hashtag waiting.
Best multiplayer game: Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, and Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves not gonna win. Like it was kind of buggy at launch. It wasn't a lot to do. Apparently, it's gotten better over time, but like as far as consistency goes, it's not gonna win.
I mean, like, it's gonna be Fortnite.
It's gonna be Fortnite.
It's gonna be Fortnite. Like, I mean, like these other, we can maybe make some arguments for maybe
It's not gonna be
Call of
Destiny because
Duty.
Call of Duty is better than Destiny. It's not gonna be Monster Hunter World because that's a weeaboo game and no one's gonna vote for it.
Yeah, but
It's
yeah,
gonna be
that's
Fortnite.
what it's gonna be Fortnite. And also, like, when you think of multiplayer, I mean, this is literally like the multiplayer game. It's like, oh man, where's the squad drop? Like Fortnite's basically a meme,
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah.
it's that popular.
Every year it's Call of Duty unless there's a bigger game that year and it's
And this year,
Fortnite's
that
that
game is
game.
Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
feel
yeah.
pretty confident giving it to Fortnite.
Oh, absolutely. It's gonna like I mean, it's Fortnite knows is getting this one.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the lock of the whole award. But
If I were a
all
betting
right,
man, like I would put a sizable amount of
oh,
money on Fortnite winning at
I
least this
would put.
category.
Oh yes, indeed, indeed. Maybe I could win some money to pay off some of these student loans. But Rick, I
Yeah.
digress. I digress. Moving right along. Oh, perfect. Best student game.
Yay, going over people's accomplishment who are better than us.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Combat 2018, Dash Quasar, Jera, Lif, and RE Charge. So
I have heard of none of
yeah, I
these.
don't.
Dash Quasar looks
Nope.
like a kind of cool VR game. Um, I don't know. Jera might be like a role RPG, maybe. I don't know. Uh, RE Charge looks fun from what's here. I'm just going off the thumbnail. I've never heard any of these
Oh,
games.
I have no idea. No, I got
Um,
nothing. But
Dash Quasar, I like that name.
honestly,
Like I'm really proud of the achievement of all these people who made these games, but like just by nature of them being student projects, I haven't heard of them. So I go
I
with the one
mean,
that sounds the coolest.
there you go.
Best
Okay.
debut indie game: Donut County, Florence, Moss, The Messenger, Yoku's Island Express. And I've already sung the praises of The Messenger, which I didn't know that was their
Yeah,
first game. That's pretty impressive.
that is actually really impressive.
Yeah.
No, if I'm not, you talk about Donut County a bit too.
Yeah. So weird. I love it. Florence, haven't heard of you. Moss, I maybe seen some gameplay, but I don't really remember. I think it's a 3D like adventure game. I don't know anything about Yoku's Island Express. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to the Messenger. That's just me though.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. I'll be honest, but
Yeah, we're getting kind of at this point. We're kind of getting into the more quote unquote filler categories.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like I mean, like so, like a lot of these games, it's kind of like I've either not heard of you or barely heard of you, so like
yeah,
not
like
too.
I think it might actually be best to just skip over all the esports stuff and just
Yeah,
go up to game of the year because I mean CS:GO or Fortnite's gonna win that. Um, I don't know who any of these teams or players or coaches are. Like the only thing I would have investment in is best esports upset, which was actually I've actually seen that that the gameplay of when who was it trying to find it. Hang on, hang on. My computer was stopping so stupid. Okay, hang on. Not here. Oh yeah, best esports moment. Um, yeah, the Sonic Fox playing Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That was
mm,
a very impressive game. Um, yeah,
I think I heard about that. I don't think I actually saw it, but I heard it was insane or something. I think everybody lost their mind.
yeah. And the only other one I might have a say in is um, uh, best esport event, which I would give it to Evo just because I like fighting games. But other than
Mm,
that, I don't really care about any other of the fighting game of the esports categories. So, with all that out of the way, let's move on to the thing you're all here for: the Game of the
Game
Year
of the year.
nominations. Yes.
So, are you want to do them? You want me to do them?
I'll do them, sure.
Go,
Or we can
go
we
for it.
can. I think there are six here, so we'll just yeah. I
Split
see
it
when you
up.
say
All
when
right.
I see. Okay.
Got
The game I'm most surprised is here: Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
Celeste,
God of War,
Spider-Man,
Monster Hunter World.
and of course, Red Dead 2. Hmm.
I was honestly was not expecting Assassin's Creed Odyssey to be on this list. Like I
I
heard it's
wasn't
the best
either.
Assassin's Creed in forever. I
And
just
I think
wasn't expecting it to be even spoken in the same breath in this category as God of War or Red Dead.
I feel like it's surely based on the hype that Assassin's Creed is back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of the hype that it's read all the way up to this
Yeah,
category. By
yeah,
no means is it gonna win. It might actually get last in this category, but
because like
yeah.
Celeste is also a really good platformer. I don't think it's
Right.
good enough to be Game of the Year material, but it's really good, and I'm really proud of it for being able
For
to.
what it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really proud for it to be in this category. But that being said,
Represents
there's
for
really only three. There's only really three we can talk about
yeah.
here. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, like again, Monster Hunter is really good also, but I
yeah,
mean,
you're
this year was not the year.
yeah, like you're probably gonna win what best RPG or whatever, but like,
It was like the rope, yeah.
yeah, you
But
yeah, sorry,
you did your best.
yeah,
But yeah, between God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead 2, kind of what we talked about earlier, I feel like again, Spider-Man might suffer from that, like just that timing of when games
yeah,
came out, and just like how quickly Red Dead 2 just like overshadowed Spider-Man.
yeah, and people are definitely gonna have enough time to finish Red Dead Redemption 2. That won't
Yeah.
be a knock against it. They've had all the time in the world to play God of War.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And
as much as I would like to give it to Spider-Man, just for how good Rockstar are at just crafting video games. Like they're like I said before, they're not my cup of tea, but just I don't know how they do it. They just make just they knock it out of the park every single time.
yeah.
And
I mean, there's
yeah.
these phenomenal, humongous open world concepts
Mhm.
every time. So interactive. You can like the attention to detail is honestly what drive me insane.
Yeah.
Like it's too good. It doesn't make any sense.
Mhm. Like I remember one person in his like post review discussion, he mentioned like in most games, when you run up to a helicopter or some kind of you know uh, airship or something, you you click on it and you're immediately in the cockpit, and then you take off. For here, in Red Dead 2, if you walk up to your horse, it like shows every animation of you like stroking it, and then like getting up on it, and like it's like very slow and deliberate. Or even when you're like feeding the horse, if you hold the apple out and the horse like doesn't go down all the way, your character's model like actually like lift his hand up to the horse like that.
Mhm.
There's no reason for it to be that detailed, but it just is.
That's what I'm saying. Like the amount of time and attention to detail for this game is phenomenal. I mean, the fact alone that as the game progresses, your character grows facial hair and you
Yeah,
can choose whether or not to shave them is ridiculous.
yeah.
Like, like this is a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of stuff is happening all the time. Like, I mean, this game's insane with the details and stuff. And like the fact of like how stuff that you actions you affect. Like, I love how in games they have what you do affects later. But I mean, this game, I mean, it's literally the whole game. Stuff you'll do like 30 minutes in can affect, 30 hours later.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's great.
Yeah, so as much as I want to give it to Spider-Man, and I'm sure God of War is also amazing, I think I just have to give it Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2's gonna win it. I wanted to be Spider-Man, but Red Dead 2 is gonna win it.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's just the perfect mix of timing with just how great the game is, and everyone loves Rocksteady, or not Rocksteady, but
Okay, yeah.
Rockstar because I
Rocksteady
mean,
2, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, people love Rocksteady, but we're not talking about them. They've had their time. But no, Rockstar with I mean with all obviously with GTA and other games and like LA Noire stuff like that, like they know what's up.
Yeah.
Like Rockstar knows like this is what the people love. Let's go and just knock it out of the park.
Yeah, that was all of the Game of Year nominees. I'm pretty sure the event itself will be on December 6th. So we might like I don't know stream reactions to it or something where I don't know, maybe we'll figure that out later. um, but yeah,
For not dying from exams.
true. Which is why I would appreciate them doing it later, because if it was over winter break, we would have plenty of time to do whatever. But oh well.
Right. But I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. So time to see what Disney is up to now. So Disney has finally announced the name of their streaming service called Disney Plus.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Very simple.
It's
Don't
just
overdo it. Just
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, there's no reason to make it complicated, but I don't know. Like it's just Disney Plus. That sounds like PlayStation Plus. That's the next step that you've already subscribed to. Like you're subscribed to the streaming service, but get Disney Plus to get even more content. Like I just or you can get special deals and just offers and whatnot. Like I just feel I don't know. It seems like there's a little more to be desired, especially when Disney's objectively one of the most creative companies ever. Or just Disney Plus
I
just kind
feel
of
like I mean, I feel like they just kind of like weren't sweat. They're like, look, we're just gonna call them that. No one's gonna care. Like,
yeah,
like who's really gonna be mad?
true.
Plus,
Yeah,
and then
so
they can get Disney Plus Premium, Disney Plus, like add
Disney
on to
Plus
it and stuff.
Plus.
And then there you go, double plus. Oh, like,
Yeah, and along with that, they announced that Cassian Andor, the Rogue One guy, is getting his own show.
hmm.
Yeah, that guy. the
Okay.
the guy from the movie where you're actually not supposed to remember anyone's name because that's how war is. Um, yeah, they apparently saw him important enough to get his own movie. Yeah, we still haven't gotten a Kenobi movie.
They're just,
Sorry,
I mean,
his
they're
own
just
show. If I didn't say that right, he's getting his own show, but still.
yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, not sure. Like that's not. I mean, you can have one. I don't like. It doesn't matter. I don't have any need to see this by any means.
But
So
like, if you were to pick anyone from that movie to get their own show, it should have been K2SO.
it should have been Darth Vader, but that's just me. I mean,
You got me there.
if we're being honest,
Yeah.
but but no, I mean no. I'm with K2SO. At least, I mean, as long as he's in it for
I don't.
all
I
of
don't
it,
know if
I'm
he.
fine.
I don't know if he would be though, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't know.
They might. I don't know, he might.
Wait, which guy? Wait, no, no. Which guy? Okay, which guy from Rogue One is it?
The like main guy, the one who survived, the guy who survived the longest, and um,
Like, died with Jen or so at the same time?
yeah, that guy. Who's honestly
Why?
like my second least favorite character of the main of like the main group.
I was almost like I was kind of hoping it would be in the blind guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that would like I was
See
just
his
more intrigued
path to
about it.
becoming the blind pseudo
Right,
Jedi that he is. That would have been cool. No.
right. Because I feel like yeah, I feel like he has some a good story,
And they
but
had
you
the other
know,
guy with the machine gun that who would have been in that movie
yeah.
too or
But
show
why
too.
are they
That
so? Or just but yeah, put them together. Like why are they so connected? What's up with that?
mhm.
Like I don't know, but
I mean, maybe they'll get around to it, but
maybe,
I
but
don't.
yeah,
I don't
who
know.
knows?
I mean that the actor who plays him, I can't think of the name of the guy who plays Cassian. Like apparently he's a pretty good actor, but like I don't know if I want to see more of the character. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is.
What I do want to see more of is Avengers 4, which we haven't seen any
Oh,
of, but want to see more of it. And according to the Russo brothers in a recent interview, Avengers 4, they're not done editing it yet, but the current target is 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
They could make it 8, and I
Which
would still sit through the entire thing.
I don't know about that because I would probably take bathroom breaks at some point. I'd be like,
No,
I
they
gotta
would have
pee,
bathroom breaks built in. They would understand. Like,
internet. That would be sick, actually. Like imagine they had like a 4 or 5 hour movie. They just had intermission,
yeah.
and you have to get like a 20-minute break, and it's like, all right, we got to go back in there. No, but I think 3 hours sounds like a lot, and like usually for me, 3 hours is my movie cutoff. But
Mhm.
of course, for this movie, I'm not going to be like
Yeah.
that. But there's
It's
more
not going to be
content.
like
And
a
also,
Transformers or an Avatar where it's just boring the whole time. This is going to be
yeah,
Avengers 4. Like, it needs to be this
yeah,
long.
and there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
like
like, I'm
you're going to be like,
surprised.
because
I'm surprised Avengers 3 was as short as it was, honestly.
that was true, yeah, because it was what 245
About 240.
for
240-ish, yeah.
240, yeah, like 240 for Infinity War. So like, and it still felt kind of short. It feels like seeing it again. It feels
Yeah.
very
I
short
watched it
because
again
it's
last Friday, I think, and it was still pretty darn good. But yeah, seeing it a second time,
yeah,
like it felt kind of short, but
yeah. Like the second time I saw it, I was like, "Are we already in
it's
Wakanda?" That was
moving. Like it
fast.
moves.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
Like
like,
when I
"What's
was sitting,
happened to
actually, I
everything else?"
remember when I was sitting in the theater when they got to the snap part, or when they got to when Thanos showed up in Wakanda. I was like, okay, he's gonna get the last gem, and then there'll be like a final third act big finale that'll
Mhm.
happen. Thinking there's like 20ish minutes left. No, there's 10,
Like,
including
yeah, like
credits. It's like,
5 minutes left. Like of
okay,
actual movie.
10 including credits. Like, okay, wasn't expecting
Like,
that.
like, we have time for a fight about.
Okay.
Oh no. It's fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, I think this one's definitely gonna have a lot. I mean, there's gonna be obviously a lot going on. We've got a bunch of characters. They got. I mean, like,
They gotta
I feel like
explain
it's gonna
everything.
be a. Yeah, I'm gonna say like they got to explain everything, whether or not time travel's involved. There's definitely gonna be some huge fights. Like,
Mhm.
it's
They got to
gonna be
incorporate
awesome.
Ant-Man and Hawkeye, maybe even some new characters that they recently acquired.
Yeah,
Um,
Captain Marvel's got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We got to get people back, however
hmm
that's going to work, or bring back from the dead, or erase time, or whatever.
yeah. So it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane. Like,
Hmm.
ah, and we still don't have a title.
Which we might get by the end of the year. Kevin Feige said
That's
that
what. Yeah.
that report of us getting an Avengers trailer by the end of the year like might happen, but they're not done editing it yet, so they don't want to release a trailer until the movie itself is done, which I wish is fair, but like I want it now. I want it now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want any false advertising in this trailer, like
Yeah,
Hulk last year. That was
yeah.
like, I'm not too mad about that,
That
but
seemed like
it's
an
just like,
idea that they had, like that they ended up editing out later, but it
right.
was it was such a good trailer shot that they kept showing it.
Yeah, like they couldn't get rid of it. And I was just like,
Yeah, yeah, whatever.
you know, because you know, at the end, you eventually like, okay, when's Hulk? Because he felt like Thor Ragnarok, he's like Hulk's gonna show up at the end, and I was like, okay, Hulk's gonna show up and then like
No,
come at Thanos again, and then Hulk never shows up. And you're just like, oh,
oh, yeah. I mean,
all
it
right.
was
But
the
I
movie
mean,
was good regardless, but it
yeah, I mean, it
would
was
have been
great. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad, but it's
would
just
have been cool to
like,
see Hulk fight that other big Hulk guy from Thanos' team, but
right, you
whatever.
know, like I had this image of him just like busting out of the Hulk
Yeah,
armor suit
yeah.
and just like the theater would have lost it
And again, it's
again.
very possible that Avengers 4 will have like a will like retcon it in a way so that like what the Battle of Wakanda will happen like almost to a T, but with Hulk and like other characters there too. So like essentially maybe that trailer shot might also be in the movie, but with everybody.
Yeah, and you know, and that's okay too. Like, I mean, literally, that's fine. But oh man, yeah, that's so
Plus, the
epic.
theater already lost it like 10 plus other times in
This
that
is
movie, so it's
true.
what's
This is
one
true. I mean,
more?
the
Like,
theater. I don't know. Like, the theater lost it like four. My right, the theater lost like 2 minutes in with Hulk and Thanos. They were just like,
yeah, my theater literally cheered, which is pretty rare for my theater back home. Like, I don't cheer that often for stuff,
right.
but like they cheer when Hulk started beating the
Oh my
crap out of
god.
Thanos, and then
And then Thanos was like, out, and everyone's like, wait, what's
oh,
happening? Oh no.
oh snap! What?
I was like, bro, he messed up. I love looking up the audience reactions of the
Yeah.
movie. Like, it's so satisfying because it feels like I'm watching it again for the first time.
Mm,
Oh
yeah.
my god. I'm getting chills again.
A movie I am not looking forward to nearly as much is Toy Story 4,
Mm.
which got a couple
Got
of
a couple
teasers
teasers.
actually.
Yeah. Have you checked those out?
Yeah, have you seen them?
Yeah, I'm seeing them there.
There,
Mm,
they exist.
yeah, they haven't looked
They
too good, but
they
I don't know.
my biggest problem with these trailers is that or teasers whatever is that the the reason why I felt Toy Story worked so well back in the 90s was because it was the first big budget CG like fully CG movie,
Mhm.
and it made sense for these toys to be CG in this otherwise realistic world. Like they moved like toys, they looked like toys, and now, and even with Toy Story 3, they still like looked like toys if you catch my drift. But now with the teasers, they look more just like CG characters, which I feel, which I know like doesn't make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things, but just I feel like the aesthetic of the toys, especially Woody and Buzz, just kind of just doesn't feel the same with the more I don't know, just essentially they look like they could exist in any other Pixar movie, and that wasn't the case with previous Toy Story movies. Before they looked more like a stuffed animal come to life, they looked more like a wooden toy that's just there. And now they just look like every other CG character, and it kind of bugged me.
Yeah, that's fair, but and I don't know. And I mean, like we've already talked about this in the past of how like okay, Toy Story 4 is kind of doing too much just because like Toy Story should be over. Like let's be
Mm,
honest. I
yeah.
like I love Toy Story. I love all the movies. I am
Mm-hmm.
a huge fan of the concept, the idea, but it's over. Like
Mhm.
it's done. It should not. They should make another one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Andy left. All the toys were in a happy place. Like, what's more for you to show? Like, I
yeah,
don't.
and that's what I'm saying. And I mean, I'm afraid they're gonna keep trying to, it's like that person that they're just gonna keep going until someone knocks them down, or
Hmm.
they just stop. It stops being quality, and I mean that's what I'm worried about. Because I mean, like people are talking, they're like, "Oh yeah, Toy Story 4." I'm like, "Why are you excited?" Like,
I mean, Pixar hasn't made a well. They haven't made a bad movie in a while. Funny Dory wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. They haven't
it
really
wasn't
made like a
terrible.
terrible movie since Cars 2.
Then
So like,
again, Good Dinosaur was kind of
yeah, Good Dinosaur was like meh, but their track record is still more good than bad. So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's
I mean, it's
understandable to
Pixar. They're
like to
like,
trust them with anything, but maybe take a step back and be like, do we need this at least? Let's
yeah.
have that idea going.
Why? My thing is instead of just adding on to a series that should be done, why not just make sequels to stuff that needs like go ahead and make like an Inside Out 2 or
Yeah,
something like that, or move on to stuff that you can add on to it. People
or
actually
actually
like,
a
oh
Monsters
yes,
Inc.
I've been waiting
2.
for this.
Monsters Inc. 2 I actually kind
Yeah,
of want, not Monsters U, which was
or,
trash.
I don't know. But Pixar is Pixar. They know what they're doing. So I
Yeah.
mean, it might be great.
And Toy Story 4 is obviously going to make $1 billion. So, like, we can't tell they're doing the wrong thing by doing this. But,
I
yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, it's about for them. At the end of the day, I mean, it's not like they're going to lose money.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they've gotten into a good formula where, like, these movies probably don't take nearly as much to make as they probably should. Like, so, yeah, there's no reason not to make a fourth one of these.
oh yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Now, in other nerd news, I am pretty sure Disney was expecting Toy Story 4 to be the main thing trending on Twitter for a good, day and a half. They were expecting just Toy Story to take over the internet. They were not
However,
expecting a trailer for Pokemon Detective Pikachu just come out of nowhere and
I
actually be
mean,
good.
no, it literally came out of
What
nowhere. I
is?
was legit like I saw like I put it on YouTube and it was the first thing that came up and I was
Mhm.
like, what? Huh?
This is a
And
movie based on a spin-off that a Pokemon spin-off that had come out in Japan back in like 2015 that just came out in America like this year. Yet they um they um no, train of thought. They said they were making a movie on Detective Pikachu like back in 20 like late 2016 before it even came to the states, which is just weird how that ended up
worked out.
happening. And like no one asked for it. Yet at the same time everyone had been clamoring for a live action Pokemon movie since,
Mhm.
1998 or like
Yeah,
whenever. So,
and it makes sense too.
yeah, it makes sense. I just wasn't expecting it to come in this form and
Mm.
actually look good.
And I mean, Ryan Reynolds is playing Pikachu, which is oh
Yeah.
goodness, I'm in. What?
Hmm.
Like, yeah, like this is gonna like oh my gosh, I saw this and I was like, is this really happening?
Hmm.
And like, all right, cool.
Like when I heard they
Like,
were making a Detective Pikachu movie, I didn't expect it to actually happen. I wasn't expecting this movie to actually go through because I almost guarantee there have been plans to make a Pokemon movie like multiple times throughout, the 20 years of Pokemon. And
right.
now all of a sudden, for some reason, Detective Pikachu, like I said, a movie based on a spin-off game that's relatively obscure in America. Like it just kind of exists. And this movie is actually happening, and is actually being very faithful to the world of Pokemon. Like essentially, this
Right.
movie is there are trainers who who go on to become champions. There are trainers who try to go on their Pokemon journey and fail, like the main character guy. Um, just everyone in the world has Pokemon. They interact with Pokemon in very realistic ways. Um, there's even like hints of like in the trailer there was towards the end like that mountain was like erupting and like basically like coming towards them kind of that there could be even like hints of like a legendary
Mhm.
involvement like this seems very in depth and like every single Pokemon is used exactly in the way you think they would. Like you had Charizard and Pikachu fighting in like that cage match situation. You had those Greninjas chasing after that. Like that just everything just makes sense in this world, and all the Pokemon actually kind of look good. Like they look
Yeah,
realistic, but not
for
overly
Pokemon.
realistic.
Right.
And like Mr. Mime looks exactly as creepy as he should, and it is fantastic.
That was so. I saw it. I was just like, "That's gonna be nightmares for a few days, but it's fine."
Mm-hmm. Then you have
Oh my
Jigglypuff,
gosh.
who actually is furry. Jigglypuff is furry. There was a big debate yesterday about whether or not Jigglypuff is actually has fur or not. And I'm like, you really think that little curl, that little swirl on his head, you think that was just flesh? Like, no, he has fur.
It could be the jiggly part. Wow, that's weird. But
Like Jigglypuff being furry is not something to be surprised about. It's not something to have a debate over. Whatever. Um, and yeah, like I don't know, like considering the fact that every single anime adaptation and video game adaptation from Hollywood has been trash,
yeah,
and this is the fusion of both of those. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie ended up being like, oh, they only showed the best parts in the trailer and the rest of the movie is bad. But I am way more optimistic about this movie than I was before the trailer came out,
oh
which
yeah.
is yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Obviously, Pokemon has a ridiculously humongous fandom, so I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, not like people are gonna see it at least initially, and then like Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Reynolds is gonna have fun, so like
Yeah.
we're probably gonna have fun with him. So like, I think this movie, as far as well as it could be, it's set up to do pretty well.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's not taking itself very seriously, so we won't either, which is good,
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah. That's another big problem with anime and video game adaptations. They just take themselves too seriously. But when you
Right?
have Ryan Reynolds playing anything outside of, you know, Wade Wilson in X Men Origins, like it's you're at least gonna go into this movie with the idea that it's just gonna be a fun time. Even if it is bad, you still have all these fun character interaction. You still have all these creatures you grew up loving. Like
Oh yeah.
realized in the truest form they could, which actually throughout like really up until I heard this movie was happening, I never wanted a Pokemon movie to happen. I didn't think they would look good. I didn't think they would do it right. I thought they would essentially just try to do like the Ash Ketchum stuff just in live action and it just would be kind of unnecessary and it would be bad anyway, so what's the point? But
Mm.
since this is a completely different story, essentially like it really does feel like a Pokemon cinematic universe movie that like just kind of would exist in this world. Like I'm all for it. So hopefully it's good.
I have faith in it. I think it's going to be pretty good. And I feel like you said earlier, like the whole not taking itself serious aspect is going to be a big part of it.
Hmm. Moving on to a different video game movie adaptation. I want you to Google
Oh,
Monster Hunter movie set photo.
oh no. Oh boy. We said,
Monster Hunter movie set photo.
huh? Am I looking at this right?
Let me guess. What you're currently seeing is like a Jeep with four army people in front of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? I don't get it.
That is from the set of Monster Hunter, the movie.
How? I don't.
Doesn't
I
comprehend,
don't get
doesn't
it.
make sense. Yeah.
No, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm confused. I don't.
You and everyone else who saw that photo, because apparently this movie is going to do the super easy and cliche thing that's never worked of this movie in is set on Earth, and then creatures come to Earth and they have to fight them, or they have to interact with them. Like
Like
it
the
didn't work for
military?
Spurs. It didn't work for Alvin the Chipmunks. It didn't work for Transformers. It didn't work for it. Just you can keep naming things, and it doesn't work. Yeah, for some reason, Monster Hunter, like we said earlier in this podcast, one of the more creative games out there. Creative
Yeah,
designs, creative monsters, creative clothing. Like the world itself
really good.
is just structured in a way that if you just made a movie, if you played it straight and just used the characters and just had them fight monsters, that'd be a cool movie. But no,
Yeah, just make it happen.
they had to make it a military movie where the military has to go and fight these monsters from another dimension, and like sure that can work if it's not tied to a game that's not that.
Nothing like that. Yeah, that's what, and people are going to obviously compare it to the source material. And since the source
Mhm.
material is nominated for Game of the Year, people obviously like it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see this movie that's nothing like the source material. And they're like, why did you do this? And then,
Mhm. Yeah, kind of like the Lost Airbender situation. Maybe they've like heard
um,
of Monster Hunter in passing. They're like, oh, well, one of my friends really likes Monster Hunter. Let me check out this movie. The movie is trash. Oh, I don't want to play Monster Hunter anymore. Like that's going to happen, and it's going to suck.
and, oh, so much for getting rid of the video game movie character. I don't know. I mean, I just don't see why. Like, I understand it probably would be difficult to have everything that Monster Hunter entails in movie form, but at the same
Make
time,
it
I mean, they're
CG.
not. It's not about. That's what it's probably gonna be CG stuff, but I
Like
mean, like,
most of it,
it,
yeah.
yeah, like 90% of like the monster stuff, like, and then it's just like, why the military? Like, why our military?
Especially since this game, the majority of the time, you're fighting monsters with axes,
Yeah, like
blades,
ridiculous
giant
swords.
guns made and stuff made from the remains of the monsters you kill.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
like
actually a cool
that's something
concept.
super. That's like That's like a super important concept. Like beating monsters isn't just so you can beat them up, but it's also getting like equipment and like stuff for other monsters
Mhm.
too. Like that, like you make weapons out of like the claws or fangs of something else.
And like maybe the movie will start with the military, using conventional weapons against these things. Maybe they take down one, but then realize we can use their weapons against them. Maybe that'll happen, but like that's still not really what you
No,
want out of a Monster
not
Hunter
what I
movie.
want.
It's,
Not what I want at all.
no,
But again, what it is, what it
whatever.
is. Moving right along.
Also, well, one more thing. Also, it doesn't help the fact that this movie is directed by and has most of the same cast of those trash Resident Evil movies. So, yeah,
Ooh.
which are also
Eh,
like heavily militarized and like just bad. And
mm,
yeah,
well, you smell that? I smell a dumpster fire.
yeah. Well, maybe it'll surprise us. It won't. Moving on.
Moving right along.
um. So this is just interesting. So apparently, back in I think 2016, um, Comcast acquired DreamWorks.
Mm,
Comcast also owns Illumination Studios, the Minion people.
mm.
Now, Illumination is apparently going to produce a new Shrek movie.
What? A
Illumination
new Shrek
is going to
movie?
make a new Shrek movie.
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Like adding on or like restarting?
They just said they're doing a new Shrek movie. Like Comcast took Shrek
Yeah,
from Dreamcast and just kind of gave it to Illumination and just said, "Here, do what you want with it."
I don't like where this is going. Well, no, no, no. I was
No,
right. I don't like where this.
Illumination has made exactly zero good movies. Well, okay, one kind of Despicable Me. One was
I was about to say,
it was
Despicable Me
good. It
One
was
was
fine.
good. Like that was the only one I really liked.
It was their
Like the
first
other
one, so it
one,
make. I mean,
yeah,
the fact that they
the
haven't
other
made a
ones
good
weren't
one
that
since their
good,
first
and the
one kind of
Minions
telling.
movie was, but
Yeah,
yeah, but I
Minions
mean
really bad.
maybe.
Despicable Me sequels really bad. Secret Life of Pets not great. The Lorax
Oh,
terrible.
oof, that's not
The
even talk
new
about some of
Grinch movie is
the
just kind of there.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think I don't. I feel like that one's not gonna do that great either. It
No,
doesn't look that good.
no,
But
no. Hey,
maybe I don't know. But I feel like Shrek again is one of those characters that's like it's over.
yeah,
I
they
mean, yeah,
literally
you
closed
could
the
add
book
on.
on the franchise at the end of the fourth one. Like, stop.
Yeah, and I mean, cause like I mean, everything's already happened. I mean, by the time they got to happily ever after twice,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like they got a bunch of ogre hybrid kid things, and like it's
Mm-hmm.
over, man. Like
Yeah.
let it go. Like Shrek is beloved, but let it go. Let it be.
Also, I don't want to see Shrek and all these characters in the Illumination art style. That would just kind of
Mm,
take away from the
original
from
DreamWorks art
the
style.
charm of these movies, since they're
Yeah.
essentially parodies, like grim parodies of Disney movies. Them being in the Illumination style CG just won't feel the same at all.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll try to pass it off as like a 2018 or 2019 redesign or something like that. But
Reimagining
it's
of
really,
Shrek, I
yeah,
guess.
reimagining. I'm just like, no
Okay.
one asked you to do that. Put it back, please. Thank you.
Well,
But
I don't know.
oh,
Maybe uh, yeah, it's hard to be optimistic about that. Um,
it is.
oh well. So I don't actually have a nerd clash this week because all the ideas I had were they involved Marvel characters, and I just don't feel like it's right to
Yeah,
do that right now. But I do
fair enough.
have a report on last week's Galactus versus Unicron, which
Oh, please update.
is that I couldn't really find a good way for Unicron to kill him because, like, essentially I looked like a huge list of every single weakness Galactus has, and they are essentially kryptonite level things, where they are things added specifically into the Marvel universe to defeat Galactus. Certain people,
Right.
certain stories, like just retcon certain things to happen for Galactus to be like
Yeah,
even the
he's
Silver
basically
Surfer like
broken.
can't really beat him. Like it just Unicron like could theoretically like how maybe mind control if he could even mind control people to fight him for Galactus, but in that case Galactus could just counter that. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean
Unicron
that's
just
all I was like. I
yeah.
was like last week. I'm like, dude, Galactus pretty much he can do pretty much everything. So it's kind of hard to
And like I tried
yeah,
my hardest
but
to counter it, and like the only
he did.
thing
He
I
did.
could fudge after research is the fact that in Marvel's Zombies, the Galactus kind of during this chaos like came at the most inconvenient time ever, started eating the planet,
Right?
and then all the zombies started eating him, and that scared him away. So theoretically, Unicron could like I don't know take a bite out of him, but like I don't know. Like I said, it's a stretch.
We just get mad and just take a bite out of him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe.
I got nothing
But
Galactus ones.
yeah, Galactus is pretty OP. So about as OP as they come. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh well.
but
Maybe I'll
we'll
do
be
a
all right.
Transformers one day where we'll just have a chance. We'll see. Okay. So is there anything else from the podcast today you want to talk about or reiterate or just bring up?
um, No, everything on the list was covered. We're good.
Okay. In that case, we'll see you later.